Disclaimer. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Do not attempt this at home. Vitiated how-to will not be responsible because you decided to be a cheap ass and not hire a professional.
On with the show.
Quite honestly, I don't understand what's going on with y'all's generation. I mean, it's just a lot of fucked up stupid shit going on. Now we got another trend going around of people killing their kids again. I mean, it was bad back in, I think it was 08, 09, somewhere around there, when the millennials were killing their kids, leaving them in hot ass cars, and all their excuse was, oh, I'm mentally ill, or I got this kind of problem, or whatever. I mean, prior to that, they wasn't a problem, but now all of a sudden somebody's got a mental illness, leaving their kids in a hot ass car. I mean, you fucking people and your goddamn anxieties. And now you got people that will take their kids, like, I can't even remember the little girl's name, just so aggravating talking about it, that her parents took her out on a boat in 100-degree weather, and she ended up dying from heat exhaustion, heat exposure, and just roasted the poor kid. And me being a person that has had second and third degree burns as a child, I can tell you it's one of the most fucking miserable things in the world. It's the worst pain you can fucking imagine, is being cooked alive. I can't think of another pain that I've ever experienced, and I've experienced a lot of fucked up pain, as being fucking burned. I had it from my chest down to my diaper. Scalding hot, boiling fucking water. Then I spent, I don't know, 6 hours of them peeling that shit off me with no anesthesia or nothing. So when somebody does this to a fucking kid, it enrages me. That if I had the money, I'd go do something really bad to all of them. I don't understand what the fuck's wrong with you people. I just don't. This world just better pray to God I never get a terminal illness. I'm telling you. If you've watched my videos over time, the things you don't fuck with is animals. You don't mistreat them. You don't mistreat elderly people, and you goddamn don't mistreat a fucking kid, especially with me present. I'll go to jail for that shit in a heartbeat, because I was abused as a fucking kid. Shush. So I know what the fuck it's like, and all the pain and anxiety and the fucking loneliness, everything. I understand all that shit. And when you do that to any one of those fucking three, it fucking aggravates the fuck out of me. I can't see nothing but what's there. And she's not the only one. I was at a concert. I was on Louder Than Life, and this ass clown bragged about, oh, my kid can sleep through a damn something. And the whole time we were there, we all eventually got him run off. The kid with no hearing protection and a black outfit and covered up with a blanket in 100-degree weather, 105-degree weather, in the fucking sun. This kid was so fucking red, all of us fucking run his ass off. I mean, I wasn't trying to go to jail, but if they hadn't have done something pretty damn quick, I was going to jail over that. My wife just kept stopping me, and every time I go to stand up, she grabbed my ass. Every fucking time, man. It ain't the first time she stopped me from doing stupid shit. But I mean, it's just, living through that as a kid, you understand what that little kid's going through, that misery. And they can't speak. And for somebody to put a child through that, I can think of a few things that can be done to you. A, exactly what you do to them to the full extent. I do believe eye for eye when it comes to that. I don't know what's gotten into you people, man. Your entitlement is unfucking real. That you can do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, right now, and I know I'm kind of off the subject to her, but it just goes in general with the abuse. That animal abuse and animal cruelty is at an all-time high. I mean, back in the day it was bad because of the dog fighting and shit. And now it's just complete, utter fucking cruelty. Leaving fucking animals in the car, hot, windows rolled all the way up. I mean, flat out, you've seen my van in these videos. You see my dogs in there. At any time, if that car is not running and I'm not there, you have my permission to knock that fucking window out. Just be mindful, they might bite your ass. But hey, if I have to go somewhere and they're with me, that car is running, the AC is full blast, the front AC and the back AC. I don't give a goddamn about the gas. I don't care. But I do my damnedest not to go in the store very long. But when I take them to give them a bath or whatever, I have to do one at a time because you know how they are. If you've seen the videos or my Live Vicariously, you know how these two assholes are sometimes. So if the dog's in a car and the car is running, I mean, I'll check to see if the car is running. If the car ain't running, I'll wait there a few minutes. But if that dog looks in distress, I'm busting your fucking window. You're going to get a broken glass real quick. And then you're going to get ass beaten. You may whoop my ass, you might not. But I'll tell you what, you will never lock a kid in a fucking, or a dog or a kid in a fucking car ever again. I grant you that. Here's a story. There was a Haitian lady in fucking Naples, Florida. She locked her kid in the car. Either the kid locked the door or it's an older car that the keys were in the car. I don't remember if the car was running or not. I don't remember. But I know they had the fire department, the police department. They had 5 cop cars and a fire truck and some other shit. And none of these idiots could open this fucking car with a goddamn Slim Jim. Nobody could. But somehow or another, somebody had a fucking coat hanger. I said, all right, give me that coat hanger and a fucking screwdriver. What? I said, give me the fucking coat hanger and a screwdriver. I had that fucking car open in a minute. And they looked at me and I said, peace, motherfuckers. I mean, I understand shit happens. Believe me, I understand. You'd be sitting there doing something. That's why they got it to where most cars don't lock with the key in the ignition anymore. Because back in the day, kids did that shit. Our generation fucking did it, I'll tell you right now. We all did it. If our parents had a fucking power windows, power locks, we were locking that fucking door. And I understand that shit happens. But if that kid's been sitting there for fucking 20 goddamn minutes and nobody around, we fighting. And the other trend is the you gambling motherfuckers out there. Back in the day, people used to take their kids into the casinos, into the bars, so there wasn't a problem. Is there a problem with the gambling? Yeah, if you are that fucked up that you have to gamble with your kid, I mean, that's fucked up. But back in the day, they had the kids with them. My dad used to take me in the bar all the time with him. If he went out to the bar just to have a drink or whatever, I'd go with him and sit right next to him, and I'd bullshit with the bartender, and the ladies would flirt with me, and it wasn't no big deal. My dad have a couple of drinks, and we'd go on our fucking way or whatever. But now it's gotten to the point to where Americans have become such a country of excessiveness that you guys are doing really stupid shit to your kids. And then you get mad when you post it on social media that you're doing this and everybody fucking is irate about it. I mean, do you really need that much goddamn attention? Was you neglected that fucking bad that you gotta do that shit? Now back to this little girl. My memory's kind of fucked about shit. think it was because of the COVID I had twice, fuckers. This little girl, these parents did a GoFundMe and got $50,000 for this little girl. He's a cop. So now that right there, that should be automatic life in prison. That should be automatic goddamn life in prison. Because every police officer I ever met has always had to go out to some kind of problem with a kid being neglected of some kind. So he knows better, way the fuck knows better. But again, y'all's generation and their fucking entitlements. And I'm not just, it's millennials and fucking Z. You both and your fucking entitlements. And I know it kind of ain't your fault because my stupid ass fucking Generation X raised you assholes to feel entitlement because a lot of us were abused and fucking neglected and all kinds of other shit when we were kids because our parents was having a lot of problems. And it's not really justification, but I mean, there was a fucking war going on, so I understood. And I understood my dad, and my dad had a lot of problems, so I kind of understood where he was coming from. Now, the woman that gave birth to me, fuck that cunt. There was no reason for her to be that way. But my dad was different. My dad was abused as a kid, and he never grew out of it. He wasn't abusive to me, he just was an introvert. He didn't know how to deal with confrontation very well, or even how to raise a kid. So, I mean, I understand that. But a lot of you clowns, you got the fucking internet. And you're so hell-bent on, oh, I want to identify as a goddamn tree, so don't fucking cut trees down. And you can come up with these fucking pronouns that are 35 fucking syllables long. So you sure to fucking pull out a goddamn book or YouTube and know how to raise a fucking kid. I mean, it's... The old saying is, it takes a tribe to raise a child, and it does. And I, as an adult, I fucking understand that. And as an adult that raised 2 fucking kids, I completely understand that. But I made sure, even though they're not mine biologically, I made sure that they were going to be 100% productive in society. And them little motherfuckers wasn't no fucking freeloaders. I made sure of that. And I made sure they didn't grow up like I did, poor and fucking on Section 8 and fucking EBT and all that other shit. And it's not that hard to raise a kid. It's expensive. It's a good way to waste $1 million fucking dollars. But if that's what you want to do and you can afford it, that's fine. And these idiots could afford it. So I don't understand why they did what they did. I mean, I can't fucking, I don't understand what a lot of motherfuckers in America are doing now. It don't make no sense. It just logically does not make any sense. And I understand that common sense is no longer common because you clowns were raised on Common Core math, which made you fucking stupid. I just don't understand. I can't fathom it. What would bring you to abuse a fucking child? And are you really that fucking stupid to be so caught up? Well, yeah, I answered my own question there. Yeah, you are really stupid, so caught up to be so immersed in your own bullshit that you don't see what's going on in front of you. I mean, I understand the neglect because the dumb bitch had me. She didn't raise me. My fucking grandmother raised me. If it hadn't been for my grandmother, I'd been dead. I understand a dumbass parent because she was more caught up in her life than she was making sure we were took care of. And I tell you, if my grandmother hadn't have been alive, I'd have been one dead fucking kid. And that is no goddamn lie. I'd have starved to death. I would have fucking starved to death. That is a fucking fact. But if it hadn't have been for my motherfucking grandma and my grandfather, yeah. My grandfather told my mom, anything bad happens to me, he will fucking kill her. Now, mind you, my grandfather was 6 foot fucking tall, a skinny man, and a motherfucking Cherokee Indian. I'll bullshit you not. And this man knew fucking Taekwondo. When my mom and dad got married, he flat out told my dad, look, you mistreat her, You do anything wrong to her, I will fucking kill you. He said it with a straight goddamn face. And that dude wasn't a fucking liar. When he said he was going to do something, that motherfucker did it. Hell or high water, he was going to do it. So, I mean, that's how I became to be. And when he died is when the shit started. And it's just fucking... It's crazy that people are actually like that to a child. And back then, I mean, it was kind of a common thing, kind of wasn't. But considering, like I said, the war going on that someone created for population control and shit like that, I mean, I understood that. But now it's fucking... You guys created your own bullshit. You created the fucking inflation because you wouldn't go to work. You wanted the $600 a week that was free fucking money. And it lasted all the way up until 2024. And I know people argued with me about it. But I'm telling you, I've been in the fucking state where it was still... I was in the state it was still going on. And I was next to the state that it was still going on. In 2024, they were still giving the fucking free money away. So, I mean, people are going to come... When the bill's going to come due, and they're going to get their money back one way or the other. So you create your own fucking... You're also an arsonist and a fireman at the same time. Kind of thing. But that's no reason to fucking mistreat a kid. None. And definitely not let some kid sit out in the fucking heat. I mean, granted, we were out in the heat when we were kids. I mean, I grew up outside. I was allowed from, I can remember, 5 years old, 6 years old. That's how fucking neglect this bitch was. That I could go out and play and go run around the fucking neighborhood and run around the goddamn city if I wanted to. As long as I was home when the fucking street lights came on. So, I mean, that's what I did. I spent the whole time outside. Did I eat? Whatever I could fucking steal, because again, I grew up on Section 8 fucking EBT. So whatever I could steal or scrounge up or somebody give me, that's what I had. But nowadays, the parents are so overprotective. This little kid was bundled up and wrapped up and in the fucking heat. So that made it a lot worse to be in the fucking heat. And that poor little kid just fucking cooked. And being someone that has actually had a fucking heat stroke, I worked for an employer I worked for a shipyard. It was Northrop Grumman. And we worked in the belly of the ship, down by the bilge. And they refused to put AC in that motherfucker. Refused to. Until about 75 of us had a fucking heat stroke and 2 people died. And now that heat stroke affects me now. And again, I know what it feels like to be cooked. I didn't get cooked to the point of it killing me because another motorcyclist saved me. Because I got off my motorcycle and I laid on the ground and this young black man stopped. He said, "Man, what's wrong?" And I told him. He said, hold up. He called a cop. He said, "I can't stick around, man, but I got a cop coming for you." I said, "All right, man." And that cop helped me up, and if it hadn't been for them too, I'd have fucking died probably. Because I didn't realize the heat stroke until it was too late. So that's why I'm so adamant about protecting kids. Because I know what it's like, and I know what I went through. And there is no reason for you motherfuckers. And I will say the whole video, there is no goddamn reason to mistreat a fucking child. None. None. I don't give a fuck what happened to you as a kid. I don't give a fuck if your parents beat the dog shit out of your whole fucking childhood. There's no reason to beat a kid. No reason to abuse a kid. Now, there's a reason to discipline the motherfucker. They get out of line, you discipline them accordingly. And you never do it out of anger. But other than that, there's no reason to touch a child. There's no reason to abuse the kid. Because that kid depends on you. That's all that kid knows is you. That is unconditional fucking love right there. You will never get that from anything else other than a goddamn dog. That unconditional love. And for you clowns to fucking abuse that and mistreat that especially when I didn't have it, this makes me want to fucking annihilate the whole generation for that shit. And they said, oh, a few bad apples. A few bad apples are millions of motherfuckers doing it. We're not talking hundreds or even a couple thousands. We're talking damn near a fucking whole entire 2 generations doing this shit. Because back in the mid-2000s, every fucking day, 7 or 8 motherfuckers on the news fucking leaving a kid in a hot ass car. So if they were doing it, imagine how many other motherfuckers were doing it and not saying nothing, or that fucking had done it and realized they did it and went back out. I mean, you see what I'm saying? That's a fucking lot. That is crazy. And then you got this other bitch. Yes, I said bitch. That's going around fucking TikTok and bragging that she's got 7 kids and she's getting $3,000 a month in food stamps, EBT or whatever. Now, being someone that made $4,000 a month as an electrician, that was pretty good money for me. But you count the bills that I had to pay, and I might have had maybe $2,000 left. Now, when you have 7 kids, that money don't go nowhere. When it was just me and my sister, and she was getting, I think, $300 or $400 in food stamps, she was blowing it. Was it enough to feed all 3 of us? Fuck yeah, it was back then. Back in the 70s and early 80s, yeah, that was plenty, because shit was cheap. But she would sell them, so then it wasn't. Now, because I know somebody else that had 7 kids, and she blew all the money, and her kids were mistreated too and neglected. I ain't gonna put her name out there because she swore him down that I called fucking welfare on her in the first place, and I didn't. Somebody else did. I wish I had him though, because of my cousins being mistreated. But there's that. And working in the Section 8 fucking housing for 15 years, those kids are abused too. And I don't know how many times that I got in trouble from my boss saying something and going off on motherfuckers over it. Abusing their kids and shit. Man, I got in trouble all the fuck. My boss was always on my ass over that shit. You gotta shut the fuck up. And, nah, dude, I ain't shutting up. Yeah, he wasn't too happy with it, but he understood it. So it is what it is. And I guess I kind of sound like rambling, but I get it. Like I said, it fucking enrages me about when you abuse kids. So the best thing I can tell you all to do is, if you can't afford kids, don't fucking have them. And I know you're entitled and I'm allowed to do what I want, but speaking as a motherfucking person that lived through that, if you can't afford them, don't have them. If you're too stupid, don't have them. I mean, that's just how it is. Because it's going to come a point in time to where the boomers and Generation X is going to get tired of it. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. Because the older we get, the more fucking assholes we are. And we're going to be more of an assholes than the boomers were. Believe that. Because all that shit from when we were a kid we blocked out comes back. It's going to be on. So, in closing, stop fucking abusing kids. If you see someone abusing them, handle it. Handle it. If someone hurts your kid, fucking handle it. I don't give a fuck who they are. Handle it.